Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit, and I am Lord of the Arena. Yes. 5-2 so far. Not too terrible. Let's see if we can go any further than that. Hopefully. This Paladin deck is decent. I mean, we are sitting on 4 Consecrates, which does help things out significantly. But will it be enough to get us a little bit higher, or will it be a 5-3 ending? I guess we'll find out very shortly. It gets a little bit tense once you're down to your last life, I gotta say. Sudden death on every single possible game. It's pretty brutal. Someone's lurking around every corner just waiting to steal your ladder points. It's a grim and dangerous world that I'm ready to face with a vengeance. Assuming the arena is working, because usually it doesn't take this long. Ha. Well. Oh, it is working. It's just taking a long time for some reason, huh? I was going to say, I've never actually heard that much of that track, so it was a little bit unusual for me. Alright, a rogue. Okay. Not sure if I'll be any good against a rogue, guess we'll find out. 2 Hammers of Wrath. This is not happening. No. I'm going to toss those, there we go. And see if we can get something a little bit better. Hold on to the Shattered Sun Cleric. And that's not much better at all. Oh well. There are possibilities for things like Blessing of Kings on Tauren Warrior. Yeah, that's not going to help. That could be a pretty vicious little thing, to say the least. Buffing the Tauren Warrior with a Shattered Sun Cleric is pretty effective. Fairy Dragon coming out, we're probably going to have to go straight into the Tauren Warrior. We're going to have to coin it, though. Which is somewhat irritating. Or we could just go straight into the Razorfen Hunter, which actually makes a little bit more sense, because it gets a 1-1 boar out of it as well. So I think that's optimal. 2-3 trades for the 3-2. Alternatively, the Tauren Warrior is going to trade, so, you know, which do you want to do, really? Yeah, Razorfen Hunter's the better play. There we go. Give him a couple of targets to shoot at, even if he trades the 3-2 for the 2-3, I still have a 1-1 on the board, so I've got a minion, whereas if I played the Tauren Warrior, I wouldn't have had a minion, so that's as simple as that, really. I can play the Tauren Warrior next turn. If it's going to go straight for my face, that's going to be a mistake that I'm going to punish him for, because I can use the Shattered Sun Cleric to buff up my 2-3. Okay. I wouldn't necessarily call it a mistake, I suppose, but I'm going to punish him for it anyway. He's going to go for the 1-1. It's fine. Not a problem. I can use my Shattered Sun Cleric to buff that up, trade it over, and then he will, of course, have to kill that as well, and he'll take a little bit of damage in doing so, and I'll still be left with a 2-3 on the board. The alternative is that I play the Tauren Warrior. Which do I want to do? I think this is the better play. This is going to be able to knife it, but at least he'll take that knife damage to the face. That's like, hey, there's 2 things on the board. There we go. Now, that seems like a good idea, right? It was either that you play the Tauren Warrior and then you trade straight up, and you're left with the Tauren Warrior on the board, which... oh, actually, he's going to shiv it. That's a little annoying, because he's able to get a card out of that, but... that still ended up trading 2 for 1 then, because he traded a card and another card for it, but he drew a card in the process, so... Alright, well, let's kind of reset things back to where they were. Alright, we've got Redemption if we want to use it. We've got Consecrate if we want to use it. We've got Kings if we want to use it. Kings might not be the worst thing ever. I mean, we could Kings the 3-2 and then just go to town with it. Possibility. He, of course, may have an Assassinate, in which case, well, that's going to suck, but he could have an Assassinate at any point, and I'd rather him use it maybe on a King's Shattered Sun Cleric than one of my bigger things later on, right? Yeah. Okay, we'll Kings it. There we go, and smack him. Okay. So let's see what he comes up with. If he has an Assassinate, he can take that out, and then that resets the board, and that leaves us with pretty much equal cards and me with a slight health disadvantage. If he doesn't have Assassinate, that leaves me with a 7-3 on the board, which is going to beast over whatever the hell he throws at me. Alright, let's see what we get out of this. Bear in mind I can protect it with the Tauren Warrior next turn, which could be a big deal. See what he plays. If he had an Assassinate, I think he would have used it by now. 6 Swampoos, alright. Okay, so definitely go Tauren Warrior then. We could go with Redemption, but I can't actually remember if it reses it with its buffs. I don't play Paladin enough to know that. So, that's a factor. I could just Consecrate. I have a lot of them. I'm actually sitting on 3. So, you know what? I think we're going to Consecrate. There we go. And then we'll attack there. And you know what? We're going to play the Redemption. Because, again, I don't know one way or the other. I can't remember whether or not it reses with its buffs. If it does, then Redemption is worth it here. One way or the other, he may think that it's something like a noble sacrifice, and that might shake him off a little bit, so... Usually you wouldn't use Consecrate on a 3-2, but I have 4 of them, and it's either that or I trade a Tauren Warrior for it, which doesn't really make a huge degree of sense at this point, considering I can get way better value out of this. So I can keep going for his face here, and now I can play the Tauren Warrior, which is a much better play, because it's going to defend me against that Direwolf Alpha. If he plays another minion, I'm going to Consecrate again and just go for his face. And just keep doing that. Because I can afford to. Ogre Magi, alright. Can't get rid of that. Actually, I can. But I'd take some damage doing it. I'd lose my minion. Do I want to trade my minion over? I mean, arguably I do, don't I? Well, let's see what happens. Let's see if we actually get the res. Consecrate's not going to really do the job here. So, does it res with the buff or not? Maybe, maybe not. I'm tempted just to try and rush him down, but I'm going to cede board control if I do, so... Alright, does it res with the buff? I'm not sure. No. Okay, good to know. That's fine. I can play the Tauren Warrior now. There we go. So that's going to protect that. It might get shivved. The other possibility was Defender of Argus, but he'd still trade the 2-2 for it, so it wouldn't have made any difference. Alright, let's see if the Tauren Warrior can actually defend it. He's probably got a shiv or a fan of knives or something, so that's mostly going to die, but it's done a fairly good job. It's done damage, it's put me ahead in health, it's given me board control, so it's done its job. And now I know that Redemption doesn't, in fact, bring it back with the buffs, which makes sense. I think that would be somewhat overpowered if it did. Knives coming out, okay. So he doesn't have anything big and scary. Alright, so he's just going to trade the 2-2 for that. One would think. No! Oh, Betrayal! Ugh. Okay, so he wipes the board. I guess that works too. I think if he does that, that actually puts me ahead, though. Slightly. Ish. Alright. Guardian of Kings is a fantastic play right now, I think. I've taken enough damage to justify it. And Consecrate won't do the job here. So, Guardian of Kings, there we go. Let's start getting the scary stuff out. I have a card advantage, and now I have more power on the board and more health than he does. So this is playing out pretty well. What will happen is if he assassinates this, I mean, oh, god damn it. I was hoping I'd get him to assassinate at 7-3 earlier, but apparently not. Okay, that puts me way behind, because that was really my power creature, and I don't actually have anything else I can really play optimally here. I might even have to end up playing the Spellbreaker. Oh, bloody hell, he's Shadow Stepping as well. Okay. So he can actually play that again and heal himself. Which is quite nice. He is low on cards, though, and he doesn't actually have that much damage on the board, so... I'm perhaps worrying a little too much. Okay, Hammer of Wrath comes out. Right. Well, we Hammer of Wrath the 3-3 and see what we get on the draw, I think is the best plan here. So we splat that. That's a 1-for-1 with a card. And we get another Defender of Argus. Do I really want to Spellbreaker Leper? No, I really don't. So you know what? I'm going to play a 1-1 minion. Which was stupid, because he's just then going to knife that 1-1 minion, but... It's like, do I really want to play a Defender of Argus on its own? No, I don't. And I've got higher health than he does right now, so... Okay, letting a Leper Gnome live for a turn, that's not really a big deal. And if he plays another smaller creature, I've got to Consecrate. Alright, now do we Hammer of Wrath? I really don't want to Hammer of Wrath a 2-1, but... Again, what options do I have here? I don't have any cards that I can really play that will work. I could just play the Spellbreaker. But again, then he just kills the Spellbreaker. I could Spellbreaker Defender of Argus, which, again, is quite suboptimal. And it's my only silence, and I probably need it for later. Let's Hammer of Wrath. Which draws another Hammer of Wrath. Alright. Okay. I don't want to play the Silence creature, but I do have 2 Defenders of Argus, so I'm going to play one of them. It's a poor play. It's a poor play, but it's a minion. And I do have a second one. Jungle Panther. Alright, that's fine, because my 2-3 actually trades for that, but I can't attack it yet. Thing is, I can Consecrate, so if I want to get rid of it, I can get rid of it. And I probably will. Ogre Magi, okay, I actually have stuff now. I don't even need to do that now. So how would I play this out best? I want to keep the Ogre Magi safe, so if I'm going to do Defender of Argus, in fact, screw it, we're not going to Defender of Argus. We'll just toss down another Consecrate at this point. There we go. Get that out of the way. Do a bit of damage to him, do a bit of damage to the Panther, get rid of the Panther, gain board control, and then attack. And then next turn I can Defender of Argus for the buffs and try to go in for the kill. And I've still got a Hammer of Wrath, and I've still got a Consecrate. I've only used 2 Consecrates so far, there's 4 in the deck, so, you know, it's as weird as it is, just using them to kill off 1 minion. It is what it is. Okay, Fan of Knives coming out. What's he got? Anything fun? Eviscerate. Okay, so that's my 4/4 gone. It's my spell power gone as well, which is unfortunate, because that's really nice in this deck. Alright. And now he's going straight for the 2/1, which makes absolute sense. This is a slow game. Neither of us actually have what we need. I need creatures. I need another Guardian of Kings. Thank you. Much appreciated. Alright. Now we're in business. Wonderful. Justice has commenced. Now we're going to apply Justice to the face and see what happens from there. Still got another Defender, still got a Spellbreaker if he brings out any crazy big taunt or whatever. This is going to kill that off, it's going to go down to 12. I've got a Hammer of Wrath and a Consecrate. I don't think I've got lethal, I'm close to it though. Do I have lethal? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I'm one off lethal. If I Defender of Argus, I still don't have lethal, but I'm pretty close to it. And we're going to go Defender of Argus. There we go. Hit him in the face. See how much he's got left on him. That's 4. I think we just then... Hammer of Wrath. Get him down to 1. There we go. And then... see if he can heal himself, because if he can't, Consecration kills him. That took a lot longer than I would have thought, but... I don't know, he may still be able to survive here. It's unlikely. Oh, Vanish! Well, that's a desperation move. And yeah, he's dead. Because I've got Consecration, so it's all good. That was kind of neat. It's like he gives me a Defender of Argus back. He's backstabbing his Acolyte of Pain to get another card. That's not going to help him. And he gave me a Guardian of Kings back, which is an amazing battle cry, but... down he goes. Consecration, and there's the GG. Did the job. It's nice how it draws the last card just before lethal damage. I actually think it shouldn't do that. It just drags things out. Once lethal damage has been detained, that's it. Alright, cool. 6-2. I'd be happy with a 6-3 finish from here, but I'd like to go higher. So let's see where we can go from there. That was more of a patience game more so than anything else. And it was weird because I kept control of the board by using things like my AoEs and my Hammer of Wraths in ways that are otherwise considered suboptimal. You don't really want a Hammer of Wrath at 2-1 most of the time. You don't want to Consecrate just 1-3-2. But it made sense in that situation. I had an overabundance of them, I could keep the enemy's minion count down low, and I could slowly establish board control and kill them. Alright. A Shaman. Let's see where this goes. Again with the Hammers of Wrath. Huh. I'm going to keep a hold of one of them and toss the other 2. Not great. Alright. I was hoping for a Light's Justice initially. Very nice for knocking down totems, but maybe we'll get one on the draw. We'll see. I only have 1 in the deck, though, so it's unlikely. Alright. Let's see where this one goes, shall we? Well, that's no use to anybody. So we have an Emperor Cobra for turn 3, which is not brilliant. Oh, it's a great card, but not early. It's better late. Too easy to get rid of early game, especially with the Shaman. They could just lightning bolt the damn thing. Let's see if he's got anything on the coin there. I certainly don't have anything for turn 2 aside from the hero power. Oh, great, another Hammer of Wrath. Well, I've got all my Hammers of Wrath in my hand, so I can use them very liberally. And I'll need to, because currently I have nothing useful in my hand at all. Now, if I remember correctly, what I did previously with the Emperor Cobra was to actually turn it into a taunt creature, and that actually made it more vulnerable than it should, so I perhaps shouldn't do that this time. Admittedly, that would take the Emperor Cobra's health up to 4, meaning it's immune to lightning bolts. Well, immune to instant death from lightning bolts at any rate. 1-1 for 1-1, alright. Trading time. And we just gotta play the Emperor Cobra, really, and just hope he doesn't have a lightning bolt. Simple as that. Just gotta start gaining board presence in some way. I do have an Ogre Magi for turn 4, which is kinda great, and then I can follow it up with Hammers of Wrath aplenty. 4 damage, and a card draw. Nothing to be sniffed at. Let's see if in that large hand he happens to have a lightning bolt. he doesn't play anything turn 3, then it's entirely possible he's sitting on a Twilight Drake. Which is kind of fantastic, because then I could just eat it with the Cobra. So, let's see what he's coming up with. I mean, surely you would, if you had a Lightning Bolt, you would Lightning Bolt that pretty much immediately, right? You'd think so. It's a big enough threat. I mean, it can kill literally any card. So, you need to get rid of the Cobra. You can't just let it sit around. Bloodfen Raptor. Okay, well, I mean, it trades for the Cobra, so... Considering I have all 3 Hammers of Wrath in my... Actually, I'm not going to use the Hammer of Wrath. Usually I would, but in this case, I'm actually just going to Consecrate, because as we know, we have 4 Consecrates in the deck. That's a 3-2. We're just going to Consecrate and then just go through. There we go. Usually you wouldn't do that, but again, I've got an overabundance of those cards, so... I'd rather save the Hammer of Wrath for something a little bit more threatening. The argument you can make against that is that he currently has a 3-card advantage on me, and Hammer of Wrath would have at least allowed me to remove that and maintain my 5-card hand. So, you could have argued that that was good too. But I think it might be more useful a little later. Let's see what he comes up with. You see, now that this is alive, he is forced perhaps to play a more powerful minion that I can then trade up for. Not quite what I was thinking of. I mean, I can knock it on the head, absolutely. And I will. But hey. Still no Lightning Bolt, I guess. So the 1-1 dies immediately. I don't like the Novice Engineer anymore. I mean, it used to be good as a 1-2. It used to be very good. But now, as a 1-1, it's just a little too weak. It does get you a card, of course, but... Stormforged Axe coming out. And I assume he's going to go for that. Well, he's not going to hit his own minion. That would be a little bit weird. Make your mind up. There you go. Makes sense. Okay, so we can avoid losing this here. And actually, I pulled a Shattered Sun Cleric, which would be ideal for that particular purpose. But he is going to kill it next turn anyway, so is there a point in using the Shattered Sun Cleric on that? Probably not. I think at that point we just trade the Emperor Cobra out and play the Ogre Magi. Seems to make the most sense. I mean, we could Defender of Argus, but again, it's just going to die at the Stormforge next turn. This is not a high damage creature that's really going to help me too much. So, might as well get rid of it. It's done a good job. And then we play the Ogre Magi. Alright. Which leaves us with 4 damage, in fact, Hammers of Wrath, which is kind of great. So, anything he plays here, we're going to bop on the head pretty well, I think. Unless it's a Yeti, in which case, we won't. Because that's Yetis for you. He did overload slightly, so he's a bit limited. He can't play any 5-cost minions, but he can play a Yeti if he's got one. Anything else at 4 cost is probably dying. Oh, he's coining into 5. Spiteful Smith. Okay. Alright. That's definitely somewhat annoying. I can't... Even if I play the Kobold Geomancer, I still can't kill that outright. Which is a little infuriating. But if we play the Kobold Geomancer and... Actually, why would we even play that? We might as well just smack it with a Hammer of Wrath. But if we do that, we can't play the Shattered Sun Cleric. I guess we just... Yeah, we just Shattered Sun it and then hit it, but that doesn't do the job. Huh. Huh. Hammer of Wrath and trade? It's not great. It's not great, but I don't see any other options, so... And that gets us a redemption. Which sounds great in theory, except he has Stormforged Axe, so... Redemption is not really going to help me too much here. It maybe guarantees another 4 damage on him. I wouldn't say guarantees, but it gives me another 4 damage against him, but... Not what I'd describe as worthwhile. Trade it. I'd rather save Redemption for something a little more powerful than that. And I don't want to play Redemption while he has a Stormforged Axe. If he doesn't have an axe, Redemption is more useful. Alright, that's ugly. Okay. Well, we can kill it with 2 Hammers of Wrath, but it's going to take some work, certainly. Alright. Yeah, dealing with that's going to be a pain. I don't have anything like an Eldor Peacekeeper or Humility or anything like that that I'd really need in this. Or Equality. So, overall, this is a rather ugly spot. We may have to throw our other hammers at it. Anything that I play here dies. Anything. And since he still has the axe, Redemption doesn't really help much. I can play Noble Sacrifice, which wouldn't necessarily keep it alive. Because he'll do the attack first with these... Yeah, so there's actually no point in playing that. Actually, there is a point in playing it, because it means that 6 damage doesn't hit my face. So, Noble Sacrifice, Hammer of Wrath for a card. Should have really Hammer of Wrath first. The Light's Justice wouldn't have helped me though, so that was the suboptimal order, but it turned out the Light's Justice was coming in my hand anyway, so it didn't really help. Alright. So he'll most likely use his axe to attack the Kobold, which will trigger the Noble Sacrifice. He may then decide to run his 6-3 into that, which I'd actually be fine with. Because since I'm on 30 health, I can then draw my Light's Justice and just kill that Ogre. So, it was still 2 for 1, but it's an Ogre. It's to be expected. Ah, well, he's just ruined my plan with that sodding totem. I guess I just Hammer of Wrath it then, again. You know, that burns through all my Hammers of Wrath, but at least I got cards for it. I need board presence, and I'm not getting it right now. But at least I'm not taking any damage. Oh, this is getting worse. Okay, oh right, this is terrible. Yep, so he's gonna do that. Alright. Consecrate is actually a better idea here. And then we Hammer of Wrath to get rid of the Yeti, and that clears the board. There we go. And then we Hammer of Wrath the Yeti. Cool. Sweet. Alright, so that takes me up to, again, a slight card disadvantage, but he has taken a lot of damage up to this point, and a lot of his really good meaty creatures are gone. So let's see what he's got. Because I'm still not sitting on too many great creatures myself here. Alright. Low damage stuff, but he's got a lot of card draw, worth bearing in mind. Next turn, I'm probably going Razorfen Hunter, possibly Defender of Argus. That's reasonable, you know, because at least it buffs both. Feral Spirit. Eugh. Nasty. And I've lost all my spell power stuff, so Consecrate is not going to help me much here either. Alright, where do we go from here? Tauren Warrior is... It will kill 1 minion, most likely. But that's only when it enrages. Actually, I can make it kill 2. It'll only be 1, because he'll use the 2/4. But this is something where Redemption's quite handy. Because you bring it back and it comes back as an enraged creature. Which is pretty great. So we're gonna do that. So here's what we do. We buff that up to a 3/4. Okay, so that trades for those, but doesn't trade for that. We then play Redemption. And we'll toss the Light's Justice up as well for good measure. Is there any point in me hitting any of those? No. If I want to hit anything, I want to hit that, but it's behind a taunt wall, so... I might as well hit it anyway. It's like, I take 2 damage, not a big deal. Okay, so the plan here is that he's going to use the 2/4 to attack. He's then going to throw one of his wolves away on it, probably the weakened one, which is going to kill it off. Redemption's then going to bring it back as a 5/1. So we end up getting both of the wolves out of it, in theory. And also doing significant damage to his other minion. Which we then finish off with the Light's Justice. That's the theory, at any rate. However, he has a Flame Tongue Totem, so this is not going the way that I'd hoped. I'm still going to get the Redemption trigger, though, so it's not the worst thing to ever happen. If he was thinking about running that 4/4 in, he's now going to be sorely disappointed, so... He now has to trade his second wolf for that, which means that his Flame Tongue is no longer as effective. But he still has a 4/4, which I don't like. I need to eliminate that Flame Tongue immediately, and all my Hammers of Wrath are gone, so that makes things a bit more difficult. Alright, so that played out the way, mostly the way that I'd hoped. I had hoped to have damage done by the 2/4, so that I could weaken it and then finish it off with the hammer, but that didn't work out the way that I'd hoped. I can still kill that. And actually, if he leaves him... Oh, he's getting the Rockbiter out. Okay, well, I can't kill it now. I was hoping to use the 3/2 to knock out the Flame Tongue Totem, but he's not going to let me do that. And what's his follow-up? He now has solid board control. Oh, he has another Feral Spirit? Ah! This is bad news. Very bad news. Okay, so I can't kill that. I can't really do much, except play what I've got. So, alright. So, we got to buff up as much as we can and hope to sort of weather the storm and do as much damage as possible. So... The way we're going to do that is play that, and we're going to play the Bloodfen Raptor, and we're going to put it there, specifically, and then we're going to put the Defender of Argus in the middle. There we go. So, I do have what I need to fight, I guess, but... Let's see where this turn goes. I'm out of cards, and he isn't. Simple as that. I burned all my cards. He should be able to... Not trade... Well, he will be able to trade fairly well. He'll trade both the wolves out, and that still leaves him with that 4/4, which can then kill my 2/3 easily. I can kill that 4/4 next turn with the boar and my hammer, but that's assuming he doesn't have anything with his 8 mana that he can do. I think I've probably lost this, because I'm now on my top deck. Oh, that's even worse. Okay. Yeah, that's me gone, I think. He's getting exactly what he needs out of this. I don't really have any answers. Which is why I'm a little bit annoyed with myself that I kind of wasted my... I wouldn't say I wasted my Consecrates, I wasted my spell damage creatures. If I'd had any of those alive right now, I'd have cleared this board. But I don't. So, this is a problem. Stormpike Commando, that's pretty nice to have. I can take out his 4/2 behind his taunt wall, which is pretty good. I can then kill his 4/1, but I'm starting to rapidly lose health, so I can't do this for too much longer. And of course, he's going to be able to trade something like his 4/1 for that 4/2 and play something else with the Flametongue Totem. Continually protected. He has so many taunts, it's infuriating. Should have saved a Hammer of Wrath, and I'd been able to deal with this. I burned them too quickly. I should have just waited it out. They didn't have that much damage potential, but I wasted my Hammers of Wrath, and now I'm going to lose as a result. So this is entirely my fault. I might get back into this game with a Consecrate. It's the only thing I'm going to be able to get back into this game with. But I'm... Oh, he's going to trade... I hate you so much. He drafted some nice stuff. Dark Iron Dwarves, Yetis, Boulder Fist Ogres, Novice Engineers, plenty of Feral Spirits and Flame Tongues. Yeah, he got exactly what he needed in this deck. But yeah, I'm toast now, I think. I can take a little bit more damage, but I don't have a way of dealing with that 4/4 now. If I can pull a Consecrate, I can at least kill 2 high damage creatures, which is cool, and then I can kill that Flame Tongue Totem. But that still leaves us with... Now I can't, because he's got another Taunt in the deck. Yet bollocks. Alright. Guardian of Kings, and kill the 4/1. Get rid of that. Which unfortunately that then gives him a 3/1 totem. He's now got, what, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage on the field. Yeah, I'm not going to live much longer, I don't think. He got a great draft. I certainly hope he goes for 12-0 with this thing, because with that many high-quality creatures, yeah, he's got exactly what he needs. Only thing it was really lacking early game was maybe Forked Lightnings, Lightning Bolts, and Lightning Storm. So yeah, he's done well with the draft there, gotta say. But I'm definitely dead now. And it's my own fault, because I burned those Hammers of Wrath way too frivolously, and I lost my 2 spell damage creatures. Otherwise, I'd have all of this cleared. I'm getting a bit unlucky not drawing the Consecrates, I gotta admit, but... yeah, he's got a 6/4 and a 3/5 taunt now, so... yeah, this is not gonna go so well. He's still got 10 mana as well, so he can play whatever the hell he wants. I don't think there's anything in my deck that's gonna save me now. Even if I pulled a Consecrate, it's not gonna matter because I'm dead next turn. I need 2 Consecrates. Twilight. That's the ultimate insult. That is the ultimate insult. Alright, 6-3. Again, not a terrible finish, but that was disappointing. I shouldn't have played those spells so liberally early on. I ruined it for myself by doing that. Alright, let's see what we get. Not a terrible haul. Would have definitely preferred not to have the dust, for obvious reasons, but... oh well. Let's see what's in the bag. Bugger all. Alright. Let's do another arena. What classes do we have here? Warlock, Druid, Priest. Haven't done a Warlock in a while. Yeah, I like the idea of doing a Warlock. Let's do that. I'm not going to use a tier list this time around. I think I'm fairly familiar now with what's good and what's not. And I know Warlocks fairly well, so... let's give it a bash. Hungry Crab, a Big Game Hunter, and Mountain Giant. Now, Mountain Giant in a Warlock deck is not terrible, because you often have more cards than anyone else thanks to the wonders of Life Tap. So that's not a bad play. Hungry Crab in Arena is generally bad, because Murlocs are usually not played in Arena decks. Yeah, most people don't take Murlocs. Some do, but you're going to get limited use out of this thing. Big Game Hunter is... again, of limited value. It's really, really good, of course, if you're up against something really scary, but in an arena deck, you're not even guaranteed to be up against something that's scary, so I think the Mountain Giant, yeah, that's a good bit of good power that we get there. And it synergizes well with the Warlock. Okay, Dread Infernal, Shattered Sun Cleric, and Lepinome. Dread Infernal I do like. It's basically an ogre with 1 less health that has a battlecry that does 1 damage to every other character. So it can be effective. It can also kind of screw you over if you've got a bunch of weenies on the board, so you got to be careful when you play it. Shattered Sun Cleric I still think is maybe a better thing to grab. It's just got more utility in general. So we're going to get that. Novice Engineer, Sense Demons, and a Flame Imp. Well, this is a fairly easy choice. Novice Engineer now is not so good because they nerfed the health amount on it, so I'm not too keen on it. Plus, it's card draw in a Warlock deck. You've already kind of got this natural card draw. Flame Imp is just great. A 3-2, dealing 3 damage to your own hero, 1 mana is very powerful. Sense Demons is okay for drawing cards as well, and... yeah, I think we take another Flame Imp here. I wouldn't take a... I mean... I'd maybe take a Jungle Panther. They're not awful. They're pretty good, actually, but certainly wouldn't take a Magma Rager, which is absolutely worthless because it only has 1 health, so it dies too easily. A second Flame Imp. There we go. Gnomish Inventor, Sacrificial Pact, and Power Overwhelming. So Power Overwhelming can be... It's pretty gimmicky, mostly. Ideally, what you want to do is combine it with a Void Terror, which enables you to then eat the minion after it's done damage and take on that extra buff. But otherwise, it kills your minion off, so it's not that useful. Gnomish Inventor, I think, is the safer play here. Sacrificial Pact is very limited in use, extremely limited. It's pretty good if you've got a lot of... Well, if you've got an Imp Master, for instance, it's very good. Or if you happen to have a lot of Sense Demons, because once you run out of demons in your deck, it starts pulling worthless Imp cards, which you can then use for Sacrificial Pact, but this is a better card in general. Okay, Ancient Brewmaster, Booty Bay Bodyguard, and Wind Fury Harpy. The Harpy, you know, it's Wind Fury, which sounds great in theory until you realize, oh, for 6 I'll get a 6-7. So, Wind Fury is maybe not as good in that situation. Booty Bay Bodyguard? I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like it. Because, frankly, it's just got too little health for a taunt. It dies far too easily, in my opinion. It basically trades for a Yeti, but costs 1 more mana, and... yeah, I'm not too big into it. Ancient Brewmaster I can certainly see a use for. I use it on, say, a Shattered Sun Cleric. You can use that again. Use it on a Gnomish Inventor. You know, there's plenty of circumstances where that could be used, so we'll grab that. Alright, a Raid Leader, a Booty Bay Bodyguard, and a Void Walker. So, Raid Leader's not so great. 3 mana for a 2-2. Yeah, not ideal. You know, the buff sounds nice in theory, but it's too easy to kill it off. You know, it dies to way too many things. Booty Bay Bodyguard, we talked about earlier. I think I might take a Void Walker, and the reason I'm going to take a Void Walker is because I have Flame Imps, which means that I actually have some early game aggro potential. Potential is not a real word. Potential. Thank you. That means I can protect the Imps with the Void Walker, and 1-3 with Taunt for 1 is okay. Yeah? It's basically a souped-up Goldshire Footman, yeah, with that 1 extra health. I'll take 1. Stormpike Commando, Silverback Patriarch, and Bloodsail Raider. I think it's going to be the Commando here. The Bloodsail Raider on its own is average at best. The Silverback Patriarch is just dreadful. And look at it. Just look at the comparison. 2 more mana for 1 more health? Are you kidding me? And you don't even get the Demon synergy with this. So, it's just a waste of time. Stormpike Commando, clearly the way here. Fairy Dragon, Mortal Coil, and Raid Leader. Mortal Coil is weak, certainly, but it does get you a card if you kill something with it and it doesn't cost much mana. Fairy Dragon is a really solid 2 mana creature, but the weird thing about Fairy Dragon, of course, is that it's the same stats as a Flame Imp. That said, it doesn't hit you for 3 damage and it can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. So I think in this situation we will grab that. Ha. Faceless Manip, Doomsayer, and Big Game Hunter. Doomsayer is a weird one. Certainly. Very situational. Not really going to consider that. Big Game Hunter we talked about earlier. It can be incredible. And then it can be completely useless. And then you got Faceless Manipulator. Do I have anything I'd... yeah, I mean, I could clone a Mountain Giant with that. You know that? I'll be okay. We'll take a Faceless Manip. You never know when that can come in handy. Gnomish Inventor, Archmage, and a Mad Bomber. I think it's got to be the Bomber in this case. The Gnomish Inventor is nice. We have some 4s. We'd like some more 2s. Mad Bomber can be quite effective. And also possibly will murder you. So you never know. Flesh-Eating Ghoul, Booty Bay Bodyguard, and Hellfire. Hellfire is of limited value because it can kill your own stuff. Yeah. So this is the kind of card you need to play if you've lost a bunch of minions. Which can happen if you go in early game aggro. So it's not the worst idea. Flesh-Eating Ghoul, I like the idea of, because again, a lot of early game aggro stuff. That's probably going to die quite fast. Flesh-Eating Ghoul could work well with it. I'm going to take that. Okay, Cult Master, Ironforge Rifleman, and Murloc Tidehunter. I think the obvious choice is the Cult Master here. Again, we were talking about these aggro creatures early on. Cult Master is a good bet. These two, not so great. You know, Murloc Tidehunter is probably the least terrible Murloc you could take in an arena, but it's still not great. Alright, Cult Master. There we go. Power Overwhelming, Celsi, Deccan, and Turtle. Well, terrible, terrible, and situationally terrible. The problem with the Oasis Snapjaw is, stats-wise, I mean, it sounds great in theory. It's actually got the same number of stats as a Yeti does, but the distribution is all off, so you can't really kill much with it. Power Overwhelming, I've said so many times about this, but there may be an opportunity in this deck to use it on some of the weaker creatures, just to kind of... We could go full-on rushdown with this thing early game and just get him to low health. It might work. Alright, we'll take it. I don't like it, but we'll take it. Another Flame Imp. Yeah. Yeah. Hell, with this many Flame Imps, I might even have to start taking some healing, because it's going to do a lot of damage to me here. But definitely take another Flame Imp. Alright, Doomguard, Wild Pyromancer, Secret Keeper. Doomguard is one of the most ridiculous charge creatures in the game, but its battle cry is extremely expensive. Discard 2 random cards. That is... It's pretty nasty when you think about it. Yeah, it's a charge with a 5/7, which is... It's probably going to trade 2 for 1 minimum, right? But it's going to have to trade 3 for 1 to really be worthwhile, because you're losing 2 cards from your hand as well. So, it's not amazing. The only time I really like Doomguard is when you play it with an empty hand. If you can empty your hand quickly, and then play a Doomguard, you're in fine shape. The other option is a Wild Pyromancer. Currently, I don't actually have any spells, aside from that. But we could definitely use a few more 2s. Yeah, I'm not going to take the Doomguard. I say I don't like that. Alright, Dread Corsair, Mogashan, Warden, Scarlet Crusader. Okay, this is a fairly easy choice. Scarlet Crusader is just a really good creature. It usually trades 2 for 1 because of that Divine Shield. And Mogashan Warden doesn't trade for anything, and Dread Corsair is just a really expensive bear in a Warlock deck, so Scarlet Crusader. Okay, balance is okay so far. Another Wild Pyromancer is an option here. Pint-Sized Summoner and Twilight Drake. Twilight Drake is, as you might imagine, pretty strong in a Warlock deck because of that extra draw you get early game. Might do the job. Think about it. What you want out of this is a Yeti minimum. So, it's likely you can get that. I'll take one. Wisp, Leponome, and River Crocolisk. Well, terrible. Absolutely just dreadful. Leponome, and River Crocolisk, We are going for kind of a rushdown approach, so... I mean, this is... I might even take the Leponome here. The River Crocolisk is not an amazing alternative, and we actually have some good 2s. We got Pyromancer, Bomber, and Dragon. Which is why I'm thinking about Leponome, just to try and do early game damage. But again, rushing down can be very, very risky, because if you burn out... Because this is... I mean, you do have some control later game here, but I don't have the spells yet. If you burn out, you're in real trouble. Because you've tossed a lot of 1s on the board. So I think I'm going to avoid the Leponome and take the Crocolisk. Because honestly, I've got some of the best 1-cost minions in the game. Why would I take a subpar one, right? I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Okay. Ah, the Void Terror. Alright, interesting. And then you got a Shadow Flame and a Light Warden. Okay, Light Warden you don't take in this deck for obvious reasons. But Shadow Flame can be good. Potentially. It's going to be very good. It's potentially one of the most powerful AoEs in the game, if you play on the right creature. And then you got Void Terror. Now, Void Terror combines with this in a really nice combination, but the problem is, getting both of those in your hand, less likely. Especially if I've only got 1 of each, which is okay. So, I think the Shadow Flame is the way to go here. Okay, Ogre Magi, River Crocolisk, Argent Squire. We're getting quite a few 4s here, but that's maybe to be expected. We could take another River Croc, but... I don't know. Do I want to go Ogre Magi? I only have 1 spell right now. So you know what? I think we're going to take the Croc. Like, it's not a brilliant 4. It's not a terrible one. I mean, I'm still talking about a 4/4, so it's slightly weaker than a Yeti. But I think we're going to take the Croc. Okay, we're solid at the start here. So now let's start taking some really good stuff, like a Defender of Argus. Angry Chicken. Don't even get me started. And then Pint-Sized Summoner. Used to be very, very good, and now it's slightly less. I mean, it's still okay, but it does die very easily, so Defender of Argus. Fairy Dragon, Voodoo Doctor, Mortal Coil. Do we take another Fairy Dragon? Our 1s and 2s are really good, but I'm worried about our late game here. I'll take one. Alright, now we're going to take some late game. Let's get a Dread Infernal here. I'm avoiding all these Mortal Coils, which may not be the best idea, but they don't do a lot of damage. They do draw a card if you kill something with it, though. I'm going to take a Dread Infernal. We need that endgame power. And since we're playing a game with a lot of smaller creatures here, a Frostwolf Warlord would be a really good option. Drain Life is not that amazing, and neither's the Wolf Rider. It's just kind of a crappy fireball, so we're going to grab a Frostwolf Warlord. You want to take a 4th Flame Imp? Hey, if you're going to go Flame Imp, you go all the bloody way. Let's take another Flame Imp. Alright. Okay, Sen'jin Shieldmaster. We don't have any good taunts. This is a really good 3/5, so why the hell not? There we go. I'm doing it. 5 Flame Imps. The rushdown potential is immense. Okay, another Dread Infernal. Seems like the way to go. It's the best of those 3. One more. Do you want to go Knife Juggler? It's a good 2, but I think maybe the best idea is another Defender. You want another Defender? Yeah. We're going to probably need them, because I'm going to take a lot of early game damage from 5 Flame Imps. This could be amusing. We could go double Flame Imp Opener. That would be devastating. Well, just how effective is a rushdown? I guess we're about to find out. 5 Flame Imp Opener. Followed up by some of the best 2s in the game. It could do a lot. We really could do some good early game damage with this thing. But we're going to be playing it a little bit knife edge, because I'm going to lose a lot of health in the process. So I've got to kill them before they gain board control, otherwise I am toast. But it's going to be fun. No doubt about that. Good? Maybe not. Fun? Absolutely. Alright. Alright, let's see how this one goes then. Not the best note, but now I might even toss my entire hand because I want Flame Imps. Well, we'll keep the Voidwalker. We want Flame Imps. Go Flame Imps! Yeah, there we go. Cool. So Flame Imp turn 1, Voidwalker turn 2, Flesh Eating Ghoul turn 3. Here we go. Okay. Good start. Generally pretty hard to kill that in turn 1. And hey, if he starts burning cards to kill him, I've got 4 more. Coin out. Bloodfen Raptor. Alright. Could just trade over. Might have to. Playing the Voidwalker doesn't make any sense. He gets a 2-for-1 out of that if I do. Other possibility is we do that anyway, so he eats that, we do damage to him, and then we play Flesh Eating Ghoul, and then we trade the 3-2, which gives us a 3-3 and board control. But we did sacrifice creatures to get it. Since I have Twilight Drake in the hand, I'm just going to trade, and I'm going to life tap. Let's go for that turn 4. Seems like the way to go. Might as well. Novice Engineer. Okay, we can just ignore that. It's not going to do anything. So we don't have to play a creature here. Probably just going to life tap again. I could play the Voidwalker, but I'd rather have a more powerful Twilight Drake at this stage, so I'll life tap again. And then we're going to Twilight Drake, which... that should be, what, a 4-7 by the looks of it? Maybe a 4-6? Good one way or the other, so I'll take that. Wolf Rider coming out. Okay. Not a big deal. Although I am starting to lose health. As we noted earlier, that could be a problem. What would be nice is if I actually had one of those Mortal Coils. I could have gone Pyromancer there, but we'll go Twilight Drake. There we go. 4-8. Pretty good. This is where he brings out the Aldor Peacekeeper. What's his follow-up? Even then, it would still kill those 2 creatures, so it's not the worst thing ever. And I've got a card advantage, so that's alright. I knew it! I bloody knew it! Alright, well I can start knocking out his minions here, but I am taking damage. I might want to start putting up a taunt. Flesh-Eating Ghoul here? Would be okay, I mean it would trade for the 3-3. Wouldn't be the worst thing ever. Do I have any better options? Probably the Sen'jin. Shadow Flame doesn't work here. It actually, funnily enough, it actually kind of does, but why would I want to blow up a 1-8? So make a lot of sense. Could just Brewmaster the thing and play it again. But I'm going to do that when it's low on health, I think. So, I don't want to take things off the board here yet. But I can bear that in mind as an option. So let's start knocking out his damage potential here. 3-5 deals well with what he's got on the board. So once that gets low, we can Brewmaster it and we can play it again. Which will be pretty solid. True Silver Champion coming out, so now he's going to knock that over, trade the 1-1 for it, and then probably go for me with the 3-3. And it's pretty effective, because that takes me down to 12, which is ugly. He's done a lot of damage early on. That's that. And now he's going to hit me again, and I don't actually have a way of killing that right now, so... Well, we could Dread Infernal, but that doesn't stop him doing another 7 damage to me. This actually sucks. I think he might just outright kill me here, which would be just bloody ridiculous. But it's possible. This deck was lacking direct removal, and I'm being punished for it.
So many possibilities.
Do I want a Brewmaster? Yeah, I do. Do I? No, because I mean, I was thinking of protecting it with the Voidwalker, but then he's just going to hit that, and then that. So why would I do that? But I don't really have much of a choice. The only other thing I could do is maybe a Shadow Flame, but it's a terrible combination. You know, I could play that and then Shadow Flame is 3-3, but this is really bad. I don't know if I can stop him now. I guess we're just going to have to do that. Brewmaster, Voidwalker. I've got to buy time, right? I've got to buy time. It's really the best I can do at this stage. That went really badly early game. My attempts at... Well, I didn't really have the cards I needed to rush him down, and then it just fell to pieces. So, what was that? Yep, so he knocks that over, and then he hits that, obviously. Yep. So that was a pretty costly use of 2 cards, but what choice did I have? Not much. I need, like, a decent creature and Defender of Argus. Oh, he is beating me down. What the hell? I'm being rushed down by a Paladin. What this? Well, so much for my rush down deck. I got rushed down, and I think I'm dead now. I could Wild Pyromancer, but I can't get Argent Commander's shield off. Actually, I can get it off, but it doesn't matter. Because I die next turn if I play my Dread Infernal. I'm toast, I think. Twilight Drake. I can't even follow up Defender of Argus because I'm 1 health. Ah! I'm toast. I'm dead. This was a disaster. A complete and total disaster. Best I can do would be... Ghoul Argus? That's terrible. River Crocolisk Argus is also terrible. Bollocks. Well. What choice do I have? Doesn't matter, he's just going to trade that into that, and then he may trade, or he might just go straight for my face. This was awful. Holy crap. Oh, my early game was strong, but I got completely shut down. And now I'm just... Ugh. Well, Avenging Wrath. Alright, that might just kill me. It's unlikely, but it might. Well, that was lovely. Not the best Avenging Wrath I've ever seen, but more than good enough, considering the circumstances. We're probably just going to have to play and Shadow Flame here. It's really the only way I can wipe the board. So I think we play cheapest thing I've got, which would be Wild Pyromancer into Shadow Flame. That's gonna... Yeah, it only does damage to minions, so... I try to think if I could use the Pyromancer to kill that stuff without using the Shadow Flame. But I only have 2 spells, and that doesn't make any sense. So, yeah. Pyromancer... Shadow Flame. Blow it up. Life tap is not an option in this situation. Now he's just going to pull the True Silver Champion and kill me, so whatever. All that! That's also a thing. That was embarrassingly bad. Good lord. I'm disgusted with myself. Completely disgusted. What a terrible start. So much for my idea. Hey, I'm gonna get a bunch of flame imps. It's gonna be great. No. No. We're not gonna do anything of the sort. Okay. Shall we try again? A hunter. Alright. Also, not something you really want to do too much damage to yourself up against. And I get to go first as well, which is even worse. Okay, it's actually not worse. It's fine. It's fine if I happen to have imps. I'll start with an imp, which is to be expected. Okay. Alright, so we'll open up Flame Imp again, and we'll see where it goes. Hopefully it gets us board control in a 2-for-1 trade, because if it doesn't, we're in trouble. Imp out. Turn 2 will be life tap, which will take me down to 25. Not nice, is it? No, it isn't. Oh, he has an arcade shot. Screw that guy. They got no play. So far, all of our imp attempts have been met with dismal failure. Oh, no. I can't answer it either. I got nothing. I got nothing. I've drafted a terrible, terrible deck here. Alright, Flame Imp. Great, I'm down to 20 health and I haven't even touched him. This is great. He hasn't even done anything to me. At least I can trade that for his pint-sized summoner, but not before he's going to be able to play a 4-drop, which is most likely going to be a Yeti. And then I'm just going to cry into my soup. Or Harvest Golem. He's coining. What else has he got? Starving Buzzard. Alright. Yep. Alright. Well, can't kill the Buzzard. Yet. I can, however, play Ascension Shieldmaster, which is pretty decent in this situation. There we go. He can't actually kill the Shieldmaster, which means I might... If he plays a bunch of other minions, I might decide to Shadow Flame that Shieldmaster next turn when it's down to 1 health, unless he's able to buff either his current creatures on the field, so... Jungle Panther, okay, can't. Alright, Shadow Flame is probably the option here, because it kills that as well. Yeah. It depends, he may decide not to sack his Buzzard, in which case, oh, screw it, I'm just Shadow Flaming the hell out of it then. Hell yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we can get a 3-for-1 out of this. I don't see any reason not to blow up my own dude. And then we play a Flame Imp. Which was a mistake. I probably shouldn't have done that because I forgot about the Golem. Because then that Golem then trades for that. Nah. I had to get rid of it sooner or later. Alright. Can we play Mountain Giant? No. No. If we could, it would be amazing. Things not to play here. Dread Infernal. Scarlet Crusader. Tap once more. That's about as far as we can go. We're gonna have to start winning now. Faceless Manipulator is available if he plays anything terrifying. Molten Giant is available next turn. Defender of Argus also available, so... Alright, cool. We have stuff. It's what you want in this situation. Question is, can he hurt his own minion? As a hunter, unlikely. Very unlikely. Not entirely outside the realms of possibility, but very unlikely. Oh, that's bad news. Kind of surprised he didn't go for the Enrage. He could have. Okay. But the thing is, I'm dead next turn, so... Oh dear. Well. What's the way to go here? Dread Infernal? Cult Master? I don't have any good taunts. Mountain Giant doesn't matter because I die next turn. I want to kill this, really. But I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. Preferably that doesn't involve sacking the Scarlet Crusader, but I don't think I have much of a choice. We could Faceless Manip the buffed up 4/4. Then kill his 3/2. I could use... Dread Infernal doesn't really help that much, and it does damage to me as well. Mountain Giant, and then follow up with Defender of Argus the turn afterwards? That's assuming we live. Which we might not, especially with this. Okay. Defender of Argus, knock that out. That seems like the best idea. I'm still going to end up losing it to the 3-2, but it gets rid of his biggest threat and I don't lose a creature for it, so that makes the most sense. This is... I think I've drafted an absolutely dreadful deck here. It's pretty bad. It's pretty terrible. So much for me thinking I knew Warlocks. I guess I don't. Either that, I was blinded by the idea of getting 5 Flame Imps, which is apparently a dreadful plan. It used to be okay when they only did 2 damage to you, now it's 3. That's a bit vicious. Oh. Well, that's not what you expect to see in an arena at all. I got a Gladiator's Longbow, and now you're pretty much dead. And I am. Yeah, I'm pretty much dead. I mean, I can play another Defender of Argus. He has a Gladiator's Longbow, which he'll then use to kill whatever it is I've got, and then I die. GG. That's it. Any way out of this? Not really. Not especially. Just Cult Master, Defender of Argus. Kill off his highest damage minion. Yeah, I'll live. I don't know if I even will, actually. No, I won't live. I'm dead. That's GG. He'll now run that into that into that, and then I'm dead. This is awful. Good lord. This deck is just terrible. Well, this has not been a good evening, all things considered. I can't wait to ignore the comments section. I'll see you next time.